Animal jokes. Once upon a time, there was a cat who died. When she got to heaven, God asked her how she liked being on earth. She told the Lord that it was awful, she had to sleep in cold back alleys where there was no food and life was hard. God told her that he was sorry it had turned out that way, but here, in heaven, she would be happy and he would give her the most comfortable, warm pillow to sleep on. The cat laid down upon the pillow and was happy. A few days later, about a dozen mice that came to heaven together, and God asked them how they had liked earth. Earth was no better for them than it was the cat. They explained to God that it was tough and exhausting and their feet were worn out from always running from cats and dogs and people. God felt bad for the mice and decided to give them roller skates. One day God sees the cat again and asked her how she was liking heaven. She explained that it was absolutely wonderful. The pillow he gave her was the most comfortable place that she had ever slept on, but even better than the pillow were the meals on wheels. Animal jokes. A man went to visit a friend and was amazed to find him playing chess with his dog. He watched the game in astonishment for a while. I can hardly believe my eyes. He exclaimed. That trademark S the smartest dog trademark VE ever seen. Nat. He trademark S not so smart. The friend replied. Trademark VE beaten him 3 games out of 5. Chuck Norris jokes. In space Chuck Norris can hear your screams. Chuck Norris jokes. Cars were invented to have a faster way of fleeing from Chuck Norris. Not to be outdone, Chuck Norris invented the car accident. Alcohol jokes. A man bought a new Mercedes to celebrate his wife leaving him and was out on the interstate for a nice evening drive. The top was down, the breeze was blowing through what was left of his hair, and he decided to open her up. As the needle jumped up to 80 mph, he suddenly saw flashing red and blue lights behind him. There's no way they can catch a Mercedes, he thought to himself and opened her up further. The needle hit 90, 100. Then the reality of the situation hit him. What am I doing? He thought and pulled over. The cop came up to him, took his license without a word and examined it and the car. It's been a long, hard day. This is the end of my shift and it's Friday the 13th. I don't feel like more paperwork. I don't need the frustration or the overtime, so if you can give me a really good excuse for your driving that I haven't heard before, you can go. The guy thinks about it for a second and says, last week my nagging wife ran off with a cop. I was afraid you were trying to give her back. Have a nice weekend, said the officer. Blonde jokes. Standing beside a valiant stallion, a beautiful blonde decides she must ride this animal despite having no previous riding experience. Soon, she finds herself atop the horse's back, galloping through a lush green meadow. Unsuspecting, the horse suddenly picks up speed and she finds herself euphoric over the freedom she is experiencing. Once again, the magnificent animal picks up speed, except this time her inexperience gets the better of her. She finds herself barely able to hang on. The startled horse is now in a dead run and the beautiful blonde finds herself hanging off to one side of the horse, her head just inches from the ground, catastrophe seconds away. She begins to frantically scream for help when all of a sudden, Frank, the Walmart doorman, calmly walks up and unplugs the ride. Sex jokes. My penis was in the Guinness Book of Records, until the librarian kicked me out. Sex jokes. Dad, hey son, if you keep masturbating you're going to go blind. Son, Dad, I am over here. Blonde jokes. One day 2 blondes decided to drive to Disneyland. When they saw a sign that said Disneyland left, they turned around and went home. Sex jokes. A young, attractive woman thought she might have some fun with a stiff-looking military man at a cocktail party, so she walked over and asked him, "A Major, when was the last time you had sex?" A Euro 1956, was his reply. No wonder. You look so uptight. She exclaimed. Major, you need to get out more. I trademark. I'm not sure I understand you. He answered, glancing at his watch. Eat a trademark s only 2014 now.